This is the story of an ordinary boy named Charlie Bucket. He was not faster or stronger or more clever than other children. And though his family was terribly poor, Charlie was the luckiest boy in the world. He just didn't know it yet.
Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. No one's been in or out for years. Not since he closed it up and sent us all home.
I know, Grandpa Joe. I wish we could see inside.
And the world wished along with him. Then one day came an unexpected proclamation.
Dear people of the world, I, Willy Wonka, have decided to allow 5 children to visit my factory. 5 golden tickets have been hidden beneath the wrappers of 5 ordinary Wonka bars. Each of the finders will be shown around the fleet by me. In addition, one of these children will receive a special prize beyond anything you could ever imagine.
Beyond anything you could ever imagine. But I haven't any money for chocolate.
Nothing's impossible, Charlie. Nothing.
The first golden ticket was found by a gluttonous named Augustus Oop.
I'm eating the Wonka bar, but I taste the ticket.
By a spoiled little girl named Veruca Salt.
Daddy, I want a golden ticket now.
The third was found by Violet Beauregard, an arrogant gum-chewing champion.
The winner of that special prize is going to be me.
And the fourth golden ticket was found by an ill-mannered genius named Mike TV.
I calculated just where to look. An idiot can do it.
Charlie's dream of exploring the Wonka factory was fast slipping away. Went intervened.
$10.
Nothing's impossible, Charlie.
At that moment, Charlie felt rich, but more than that, he felt terribly hungry. $10 was enough to feed his entire family for a week. So after careful consideration, Charlie decided to spend just $1 of it on himself.
1 Wonka's Fudge Banner Delight, please.
Hungrily, Charlie pulled back the wrapper and took his first bite. Then pulling it back for another bite was one small corner of shiny paper. A golden ticket, the very last one in the entire world, and Charlie had found it.
Greetings to you.
the lucky finder of this golden ticket from Mr. Willy Wonka.
Charlie carried the ticket home to show his family as quick as his little legs could carry him. And the very next day, Charlie, Grandpa Joe, and other 4 ticket holders gathered at the gates of the chocolate factory exactly as each ticket had instructed. And they all had big plans for when they got inside.
I'm keeping my eyes on the prize.
I will devour every one of the chocolates and candies and things of this nature.
I'm going to look for things I want my daddy to get me.
I'm gonna be bored. You think Wonka's got any video games in there? Do you think Mr. Wonka will recognize you?
Hard to say. It's been years since for him.
And exactly at the appointed time, the factory gate, closed for so long, finally opened. There stood Willy Wonka himself.
Dear visitors, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to my humble factory. Now quickly, we mustn't dawdle. There's far too much to see.
With little time and lots to see, the tour began. And they were whisked away to the very heart of the Wonka factory.
The chocolate room.
It's beautiful.
What's more, it's all edible.
And it was. For every single thing around them was made of candy, even down to the green grass on the banks of his chocolate river.
I'm in heaven.
I bet. I want a chocolate room. I want 2.
The last one to the riverbank's a rotten egg.
Every drop of that river is hot melted chocolate of the finest quality. Waterfall is most important. No other factory in the world mixes its chocolate by waterfall.
When Augustus Gloop heard that, he was determined to drink his fill.
Just 1 sip? No. 2 zips.
But even that proved too little for Augustus.
Please, boy, please. My chocolate must be untouched by human hands.
Leaning out to guzzle the chocolate, the gluttonous boy lost his balance and fell right in. And in moments, he was drawn into an enormous chocolate pipe where he stuck fast.
Help me! I'm stuck!
It's not big enough.
I'll say. Not much of a swimmer, was he?
Someone should do something.
We must continue. There's so much to see in too little time.
But you can't leave him there.
Eventually he'll come out. The pressure will get to him, you know. And yet,
If Augustus were freed earlier, the river could be cleaned quicker, and production would continue sooner. And since the other children had not shown an interest in helping Augustus, Wonka left the task to Charlie.
be about your work then and rejoin the tour when you can. I'll be able to check back with you at a moment's notice though, so don't be surprised to see me.
Charlie agreed to stay behind. But as for how to get Augustus Gloop unstuck from the pipe, Charlie was about to find he would have more help than expected. As Charlie worked at dislodging Augustus Gloop from the factory plumbing, Mike TV was giving Mr. Wonka an earful on the benefits of automation.
If this were my factory, I'd fire the little creeps and upgrade these lame robots instead.
Mr. Wonka, no intentions of changing a thing.
Mumbling. Always with the mumbling.
For all the elements of his factory worked together in harmony exactly as he meant them to, until Mike was into his own hand. So certain of his superior intellect, Mike decided to upgrade the Wonkabots himself. But these weren't order robots, they were Wonkabots. They proved unlike anything Mike TV had ever tampered with, and quite even his considerable intellect. So when the tamper had, Mike didn't tell a soul. Instead, he pretended nothing had happened at all.
Keep moving, please. Mustn't dawdle.
But something had happened, and for Charlie and the Oompa Loompas, things were about to get. Having rescued Augustus Gloop from the Chocolate River and finally caught up to Mr. Wonka and the rest of the kids, Charlie found them faced with a peculiar dilemma.
I would rather you didn't.
I'm the world record holder in chewing gum. I'm not afraid of anything.
Despite Mr. Wonka's protests, Violet had sampled one of his new inventions. There was a whole 3-course dinner all by itself.
Tomato soup. I can fit changing. Roast beef. Baked potato. With crispy skin and butter.
I've tried it on 20 Oompa Loompas, and it always goes wrong when we come to the dessert. It's the blueberry pie that does it.
She's swelling up.
Ha! Look at her go.
I don't want a piece of that candy.
Indeed, Violet was becoming rounder and more blue by the moment, and no sign of soup.
I don't feel so good.
Seeing that Charlie had returned from rescuing Augustus Gloop, Mr. Wonka thought nothing of asking him for another favor.
We've got to squeeze the juice out of her immediately.
This time, requesting that Charlie roll the foolish girl to the juicing room,
Don't worry, we've had lots of practice with this.
where she could be restored to her former miserable state.
Will Violet always be a blueberry?
No, maybe. I don't know. But that's what you get from chewing gum all day. It's just disgusting.
Having delivered the now fully juiced Violet Beauregarde, Charlie rejoined the others just in time to tour Mr. Wonka's fantastic nut room.
Oompa Loompas can't get walnuts out of their shells in one piece.
Working feverishly among the gravity-fed pipes and chutes were neither Oompa Loompas nor Wonkabots.
Nobody can get whole walnuts out every time, except squirrels. Who better to sort good nuts from bad?
Now, Veruca Salt had many pets, but she did not have a squirrel.
All I've got at home is 2 dogs and 4 cats and 6 rabbits, and a green parrot and a turtle and a bowl of goldfish and a silly old hamster. Give me a squirrel. I want a squirrel.
They're not for sale.
And when she decided to grab one and take it home,
Little girl, I wouldn't.
the squirrels were not amused. In fact, they seemed most upset by it. Leaping on top of her, they knocked Veruca to the ground, rapping furiously on her head with their tiny knuckles.
What are they doing?
They're testing to see if she's a bad nut. I wonder.
Satisfied that she was most certainly not a good nut, the squirrels dragged Veruca away.
Where are they taking me?
Where all the other bad nuts go. Down the garbage chute.
This time, Charlie knew what Mr. Wonka was going to ask him even before he said it. So he set out straight away to retrieve the greedy girl. And the group, what was left of it, continued on without him. When Charlie caught up with Mr. Wonka again, the tour, now down to only one other golden ticket winner, had stopped at the testing room for his latest and greatest invention, television chocolate.
Put these on quick and don't take them off. This light could blind you.
Invented a way of sending a delicious bar of actual chocolate over the airwaves, allowing ordinary television viewers to take it and eat it right out of the screen.
That's impossible. And the power you'd need would be like 9 atomic bombs.
But even when Mr. Wonka's invention proved that the impossible was indeed possible,
Holy buckets!
And it works just so with virtually every kind of chocolate.
that wasn't enough for Mike Teavee.
Don't you realize what you've invented? It's the most important invention in the history of the world. It's a teleporter, you idiot.
No. Quick, the television. I just hope that no part of him gets left behind. The little pieces find...
Screen. Charlie had a sneaking suspicion that his service would be required once more.
Go ahead, press it. Hold on.
Whoa.
You see, I suddenly realized I can't go on forever. Who will continue my life's work?
Your tree.
It's yours now.
Mine? But
I told you, beyond anything you could ever imagine.
Truly nothing was impossible. Just as Grandpa Joe had, and as his mind whirled in the wonder and excitement of that day, there was one thing of which he was absolutely certain. Life had never been sweeter. Charlie's efforts proved successful, and all TV emerged in one piece,
Wonderful. He's completely unharmed.
though a good deal smaller than he was before.
Told you right. Now just put me back to the other way.
But there is no other way. It's television, not telephone.
The miniature Mike TV was escorted to the taffy puller for stretching. Meanwhile, Mr. Wonka was eager to resume his factory tour.
There's still a lot to see. Now, how many children are left?
just me, Mr. Wonka.
Excellent. First things first, let's check on our other guests.
And before Charlie could speak, he was whisked off to the factory entrance.
I do hope they've learned something today. I invited 5 children to this factory, but I had a hunch it would be you, Charlie, right from the very beginning. Quickly now, there's more to do.
And before he knew it, Charlie found himself in the great glass elevator once more, where he noticed a label etched in the glass, one he had not seen before.
Up and out? What kind of a room is that?
You can choose to see for yourself, but there's still some ingredients I need.
Which could only mean that Charlie's adventure was not quite over yet.
Bye.